We ended our engagement because my fiancé valued friendship more than love. When I asked his best man to wear a tuxedo, I, Anna, 26, am getting married to Kane, 28, a handsome, responsible, intelligent man with a kind heart and a great sense of humor. My sister, Lily, 23, is going to be his best man. Lily is best friends with my husband, Kane. He's known her more than twice as long as he's known me. We only really met and talked at any length about 3 years ago or so. They were co-workers together at her high school job, and she's been a part of his gaming group since then. They went to the same college, and they're co-workers again now, working for his friend Roy's, 42, company. Kane was in college for the better part of a decade, getting 2 undergraduate degrees and his PhD, and Lily ended up doing the same major as him, likely due to his encouragement. She's thinking about her master's in the same field, but they both work full-time now. In addition to being co-workers and playing Dungeons & Dragons together, they also game online, and they hang out all the time. They've gone to conventions together, either as part of a group or just the two of them. They do local classes and events together, and Kane helps Lily with her photography and editing. While she has a solid full-time job, Lily still has aspirations of being a model influencer. She loves fashion, and she's also into cosplay. After we got engaged, we were at a family dinner, and I was talking to Kane about the wedding party, and I mentioned that even though I have 2 sisters, I wanted my own best friend, Tess, 26, to be my maid of honor. Kane said that was great because he actually wanted to ask Lily to be his best man. Lily immediately and enthusiastically agreed. Being a female best man is just the kind of thing she'd love. Obviously, even if that meant she wouldn't be one of my bridesmaids. She also knew that between our other sister and some of my friends, I had too many people who needed to be bridesmaids, and Kane was worried about being short on groomsmen. This was all fine and well until later on when we were talking about what people were going to wear. I picked out my dream wedding dress, and I coordinated the bridesmaid dresses, and Kane was going to have his groomsmen, most of which were other gaming buddies, in tuxedos. I had to talk him out of putting them in cosplay, SL, and fair stuff. However, Lily was going to wear a dress. Lily is a very tall, very attractive woman, and to be perfectly frank, she has a large chest. The dress that she wants to wear was designed by one of her friends online, and while it's not white or anything, it's mostly red and black, and pretty well matches the other groomsmen, and it's formal and fancy. It definitely shows off her figure. I wouldn't say in a way at all, but it just does. She would also, as the best woman, stand out from the other men on the groom's side, especially in the heels she wanted to wear with the dress. After dropping a few hints here and there, and broaching the subject of each side of the wedding party matching in women's tuxedos, I gently requested that Kane have Lily wear a tuxedo rather than the dress and shoes she wanted, and he had previously liked. When they gave me pushback, I pointed out to Lily that she might be too exposed, or she might distract people with such a flashy dress. Lily gave me a dirty look and said half under her breath, "Are you serious?" And before I could react, she just said, "Fine, it's you're the bride, I'll wear the tuxedo." Kane sighed and half said some things about it being ridiculous, but then when I asked him what he said, he just said, "Okay, it's whatever, it's fine." Since then, Kane and Lily have been passive-aggressively making fun of my concerns, with them doing things like Kane comically ogling her chest or her making all sorts of beau jokes. She's done things like ostentatiously covering up her chest with her hands when she moves past people while saying things like, "Got to guard the girls, wouldn't want to knock anyone over." Both her and Kane keep making fake Freudian slips about her chest or her figure. And Lily even pretends to lose her balance and fall over because her boobs were too heavy. They pretty much just do this when I'm around. They seem to think it's hilarious. They've made it very well known that Lily is really disappointed about not getting to wear the dress, and that her seamstress friend is upset about it too. And Kane has seemed a bit distant and disinterested in wedding planning. I was looking over some tuxedos for women and making some suggestions to Lily about ones that aren't too tight in the chest or hips, and she just showed me the one that she had already picked out and said, "Is this fine? Or did you want to further micromanage my specific tuxedo?" We started to get into a fight, and she accused me of being a bridezilla. When I told her she was being a bad sister, she said that she wasn't the one who was being body-shamed and told what to wear. I told her my requests weren't body-shaming, and she said that they were the same thing. My parents completely took Lily's side and said that I should just let her wear the dress. Obviously, she showed it to them too, and they thought it was beautiful. They like her friend too, and her friend has done clothing and costumes for with her before. My father said that I should at least stop bothering her about the tuxedo if I'm going to make her wear one, and then I should just let her go with the one she picked. The one she wants, though, is very high visual impact, and it is also very tailored. She said she can match it to the colors, but I feel like she'd still stand out. When I tried to get Kane to weigh in on this, he just said, "It's your wedding. Do whatever you want." I guess I'll tell her to do whatever you want. I obviously don't feel like he's very invested. I feel like he's not on the same page, but he just doesn't want to argue. He's always like that. Even though we both have good jobs, both Lily and I still live at home with our parents because housing is ridiculous, and it's been awkward around each other. I've been staying over at Kane's a lot over the last year, and I was supposed to be officially moving in, but he's been kind of cool and passive about it recently. Everyone seems to be acting like I'm the villain, even though Kane and Lily are the ones being passive-aggressive and unreasonable. I almost feel I should have just made Lily a bridesmaid right off the bat or told Kane that it didn't make sense for him to have female groomsmen. Am I the for wanting my husband's best man to just wear a normal tuxedo? Update 1. There is not going to be a wedding. Roy, 42, of all people, Kane's boss and gaming buddy, noticed my post as it got way more attention than I ever expected. We've only ever met a couple of times and hardly ever talked before, but he reached out to me with, "This is Roy. LOL, call me." So I called him from the parking lot after work. Roy says he's been married for about 20 years, and he's tried to give Kane relationship advice. He doesn't think we're a good match. He told me that I should talk to Kane, and that Kane has been unhappy with our relationship and extremely unhappy with the wedding planning, even to the point that it's a running gag amongst him and his friends. I got into it a bit with Roy because, to be fair to me, Kane's ideas have been ridiculous. Just some of the things he asked for, and which Roy, Lily, 23, female, and his buddies thought would be cool. He wanted the wedding party to have custom swords, daggers, and amulets. He wanted them to have the swords during the ceremony, and he thought people would like fantasy amulets. Kane had told me that Roy was willing to pay for the bridesmaid dresses if we had them done by Lily's customer friend. I told him no because I wanted normal nice bridesmaid dresses from someplace reputable and that the bridesmaids could buy them themselves. Roy told me that he had offered this as a bit of a bet with Kane. Kane wanted to serve meat at the wedding. He said that his friend Roy could provide it, and that he made meat in his basement and had tons of it. I obviously said no because why would I want meat at my wedding, never mind some guy's basement meat? Roy got a laugh out of this at the time and talked to me because he's a nerd who likes to laugh at his own jokes. Apparently, he's very proud of his basement meat, and they like to make toast with it. Basement meat has apparently become a running gag in their games, as Roy insisted on telling me. Frankly, Roy seemed kind of tickled with himself just because he was speaking with me. Kane wanted the band at the wedding to play classical covers of video game and superhero music. Kane wanted the reception to have a jester who would wander around doing magic tricks and asking people riddles. Some lady that Kane and his friends know asked if she could be an elf at our wedding and wear her forest gown, and Kane said he'd ask me, and he described it as some kind of green Greek toga dress with leaves and elven writing on it, and that she'd have elf ears. It's a wedding, not a costume party, so I don't even know why he would ask that. I mentioned this stuff to Roy, and he recognized all of it, and some more things to add besides because Kane would always vent to them about the wedding plans, and Roy just agreed along, saying that I was constantly shooting down all of Kane's ideas. The point is that all of Kane's ideas were completely ridiculous, and that I wanted to have a wedding and not a Halloween party. Roy laughed when I brought this up to him and said that these ideas were awesome and that I was just being too boring. Roy said that he thought we weren't a good match and that he's told Kane that he needs to talk to me. I asked him if he thought Kane and Lily were a good match, and he just said, yes. I asked if there had been anything between them, and he said no. He said he's 100% certain they've never hooked up because Kane doesn't have the poker face for it, especially with as much as him and the other group members rib them over it. He said that Kane is too oblivious for his own good, and that the week after her 18th birthday, Lily said pretty much straight to Kane, "I'm 18, so you can me now," and Kane just laughed it off as a joke. It does sound like something she'd say because Lily does love making inappropriate sexual jokes. Roy thought there was more to it, though. They've had their characters date each other in games. He said they've been the very model of chastity since Kane has been dating me. Once, at an event, Lily was supposed to kiss Kane, but instead, she kissed the palm of her hand and then had him kiss her palm. Roy is fully confident that neither of them would cheat. I went over to Kane's house because he hadn't called or texted in a while, and he basically confirmed everything Roy said. Kane said that I stressed him out when I was over, and he wasn't sure about me moving in because thinking about it gave him anxiety. He didn't like any of my ideas for our house. It was his childhood home, and he's resistant to changing anything. He just has his stuff everywhere, and whenever he kept trying to talk about giving me some rooms or some space when it's supposed to be our home, where all of the space belongs to both of us. He was extremely frustrated about the wedding planning, and he felt like he didn't have a say. He said the dress Lily wanted to wear was just about the final straw because I told him he could pick the outfits for the groomsmen, and I told him Jen could be in a dress as long as it matched. She really loves the dress, and she got it from her friend. She and Roy and apparently all of his buddies warned him that I'd find some way to have a problem with. He says that I talk him in circles whenever he tries to choose or change anything, even though all of his suggestions are ridiculous. And he said he'd just about given up caring by the time I complained about the dress, so he didn't bother fighting about it. He said it upset him the way I was body-shaming Lily about her figure and her breasts. He thought I was being jealous and controlling, and that I had been a bridezilla ever since he proposed. When I asked him why he even proposed if I apparently give him anxiety, and he doesn't even want me to move in with him, he said he felt like he was pressured to either propose or break up, and he hoped things would get better and that he didn't know if he had a good enough reason to break up. When I told him that I never pressured him to propose, he said that all of my friends and family know that I consider it a goal to get married before I'm 30. And he brought up a document on his phone where he had taken notes about what kind of proposal I wanted from all the times I had talked about it. He said that he started the document because of how obviously important it was to me to have a perfect proposal and how often I talked about what I wanted. He proposed because he felt like he had to either marry me or dump me if I was going to have time for my plans. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a timeline for your life, and I wanted to start having kids by my late 20s or early 30s at the latest. I mentioned all of this to Kane again, and he said that that was fine for me, but that he was kind of on the fence about if when to have kids, and he mentioned that Lily isn't sure about having kids at all and certainly isn't in any hurry about them. But I told him that doesn't have anything to do with anything, and that Lily is just being short-sighted. I asked him if anything had happened between him and Lily, and he said no, and I believe him. I asked him why he wasn't dating Lily, and he said that at first she was too young, and then he was seeing someone, and then he was dating me, and he said that he values his friendship with her more than anything. He said that his friendship with Lily was worth not getting to be with her that way, and that she's too attractive to want to be with him. Apparently, the only reason Kane even started dating me is because he tried flirting with me at a family party we were at, and he said I seemed into him. He doesn't think of himself as handsome, but he is, and he's got his PhD, a great job, and his own house at 28. He's definitely a catch. He didn't agree, and he said he's only dated his high school prom date, a girl who was kind of his girlfriend until she graduated and left, and me. Kane apologized and said that he wanted to put a hold on any more wedding or moving plans, and that he wasn't sure about the relationship. I had already started crying, but then I broke down, and he apologized again. He said he was sorry for messing up my plans, and that he kept hoping things would get better. I left as soon as I felt like I could drive. By the time I got home, Kane had already texted, "Lily, your sister is crying, sorry." And the two of them had been on the phone the whole time. And of course, my mom knew, and she tried to comfort me, but I could just tell she wanted to say, "I told you so," because she had been warning me I was going to drive Kane away, and she thought he was better with Lily too. Lily said that she tried really hard to have this work out because she just wants Kane to be happy, and that she had tried inviting me to gaming. And for Christmas before last, she bought me a Switch with games Kane likes, and that she was sorry stuff happened this way. She accused me of not really liking or caring about Kane and just wanting a generic husband. When I told her that wasn't fair, she mentioned the same stuff from the wedding planning and a bunch of other stuff from our relationship that she said made Kane feel ignored or suffocated. She said that the only reason I liked him was because he ticked boxes and always gave in and let me have my way. We started arguing, but our mom stepped in before we could get into it too bad. I asked Lily about what this meant for her and Kane, and she said he is absolutely her best friend and nothing is ever going to change that, and that she loves him. When I asked how she loves him, she just said that's not a discussion she wants to have right now. Our mom said everyone needed to cool off, and that was enough for Lily to step away and drop the subject. One of the commenters on my original post asked why I was marrying my sister's boyfriend, and my mom asked very nearly the same thing. She questioned how I had started dating Kane just about as soon as his age gap with Lily stopped being awkward, and she implied I shouldn't have been dating him in the first place. That's not fair at all. It's not like he's her property, and Lily can clearly just go get whatever man she wants. It's not like she had any kind of claim on a man just for knowing him. Even while she was trying to comfort me and saying that things will be all right, my mom wouldn't stop implying that I was wrong for going after Kane in the first place or criticizing me for how the relationship went. She said that Kane wasn't the man for me, and I could tell she meant that he belonged with someone like Lily, as if I'm not good enough or what I want doesn't matter. And then I caught her talking to Lily about how things should be fine and how she should try not to be mad at me as if I was the one in the wrong, or I should be apologizing to her. Lily just kind of went on like normal and went ahead and went to go game with Kane and her friends the next day. I know they've been chatting online like normal. I gave Lily Kane's ring to give back to him, and then I had a missed call from him while I was in the shower and a text that said, "Okay, I guess we are broken up then. I'm sorry. I don't know if I messed this up or if everyone else were the villains. Sorry this was so long. A lot of stuff has come out. I feel like I'm definitely not going to get married by the time I'm 30. Related comments. Comment 1. Everyone in this situation is at fault, but I feel bad for OAP because her own mother accused her of stealing her sister's soulmate just because she accepted his invitation to date. The fiancé approached her first, so why is it wrong that she accepted? While it might be true that OAP wanted to meet certain goals and saw him as a way to achieve them, her boyfriend isn't her sister's property. He asked her out and then proposed. Why is she being villainized for thinking they were in a mutual relationship? Comment 2. Seriously, Kane is the biggest villain in this story. He essentially said, "I have a crush on this underage girl at work. I'm going to befriend her and then date her older sister because she's the closest approximation I can get." He told OP he loved her and wanted to spend their lives together when he proposed, but behind her back, he made fun of her with his friends, knowing he'd rather be with someone else. He wasted her time and used her plans to marry by 30 against her. Nobody in this situation is nice, but Kane caused most of the suffering. Comment 3. And everyone in this situation is exhausted. Both people in the relationship aren't compatible, and those around them aren't great either. It's truly one of those everyone sucks here moments. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.